Hey guys, welcome back to another little travel recap video. I didn't think about this one being filmed in vertical, but I guess when I did this, I intended just to put everything on like TikTok, which I did very lazily, and then I deleted my TikTok. So you guys get the full experience. Right now, I'm just going through my office a few days before the trip because I wanted to make sure I took like my Disney themed necklaces. I had to decide what pins I was taking to trade with me. And yes, I know, I got a lot of pins. That's my thing, okay? I try not to collect a lot of things, but somehow I collect the Disney pins. And I have a decent variety, so I try not to just buy a lot, but I do take a few over there to trade. I do have a few like stuffed animals and other Disney decoration merch stuff, but primarily if I'm going to buy anything as like a souvenir from Disney, I end up getting pins. These are the ones that I picked out to take down and trade. The dog tag ones are just very heavy, and even though they open up, they're too heavy to stay open. The others are more minor characters that aren't in the main collections that I have, so they were a fair game. And then this is the start of me packing, where I literally just threw in every possible thing I thought I wanted to take. I did not end up taking everything, but I did plan out outfits for the days, and I had to take out a few things because of the weight limit on the luggage. But when we were ready to go, we were ready. There were 7 of us all together, and we flew out at 5 a.m. on Monday. Again, we just took Spirit, which had no issues with, but I did learn that if you do the refund for any reason, but you do it as a group and you try to remove people, you won't be able to do that refund totally. And that's just because everybody's under the same registration number. So future advice, if you are going as a group, book individually and you can still keep like your travels insurance and your refund for any reason. But if there's any changes, you won't have to sacrifice anything for losing people in the group. Once we got to the airport, we were able to take a bus from the airport to our resort. Now, the Magical Express they used to have is no longer a thing, so we used the Mears shuttle, which you have to book separately, but it's basically the Disney buses they used to have. It's just under a different company umbrella. We stayed at the Art of Animation Resort, which I was super excited about because in 2020 we were able to stay at Pop Century, but Art of Animation was under refurbishment, so I couldn't even resort hop to check it out. And I'm all about the animation and the sketch style. Like the walls just in the lobby was immediate happy place for me. I would definitely stay here again, if not for the ambiance, probably because it's just so convenient. Art of Animation is one of the resorts that are on the Skyliner track, where you pretty much get on these little gondola things and ride up to Hollywood Studios or Epcot. So it's very convenient in getting to either of those parks without having to wait for a bus. It was chillier than expected though. Like granted, this was the last week of January, so we were seeing weather between like 60s and 70s. We definitely had to keep our hoodies with us because that wind was just right down to the bone. But it was sunny all day, and so without resting, we went directly to Epcot, and my first priority was riding Ratatouille because it was a newer ride, and it was supposed to be a ride that I would enjoy because it's a newer track system, but it didn't quite live up to expectations. So we spent the rest of the day walking around the world and eating all the festival foods, trying that out between us. And that way it was nice because we got to sample everything without spending so much money per person. But that literally took us all day because we also got the Figment scavenger hunt, which was a lot of fun. I would love to do another scavenger hunt there. But without resting, even though that was part of the plan, we ended up staying till closing at Epcot, which is impressive because usually it's not my favorite park, but I think enjoying it with my brothers and everybody just trying the food was a lot of fun. And we also got into the virtual queue for the new Guardians of the Galaxy ride, which may be the best ride that Disney has to offer. Unfortunately, it's still not at my favorite park. We rode the Skyliner back to Art of Animation Resort, and we finally got to look at all the decorations outside of it. We stayed in the Little Mermaid standard room so that everybody could have their own bed, and we could also have connecting rooms. Not that we actually hung out in the rooms much because we were at the parks all day, but it was nice to just be able to come back and walk over and steal somebody's donut and, kick their stinky feet off your bed. It was great. It was great. And in terms of the cost, it's definitely more than I would pay for a basic room anywhere else, but I would definitely stay here again. Oh yeah, I would stay here. The next day, bright and early, we decided to go to Hollywood Studios. And I say decided even though this was predetermined months in advance because the boys wanted to build lightsabers, so I did have to reserve that, I think about 60 days out at the minimum. The Skyliner line was packed again, which my guess is all of the cheaper resorts sold out before the more expensive ones, so everybody was staying at Art of Animation or Pop Century. At least that's what it felt like. We got on Star Tours for our first ride of the day, which is a simulation ride that has apparently 16 or something multiple endings or multiple destinations that you can go to in your session. Maybe one day I'll see them all, but we did some bounty hunting on our way through Galaxy's Edge, and then it was time. Savvy's workshop, where the boys got to build their own lightsabers. I will say that the presentation of this experience was very well done. It was set up very theatrically, which is Disney's strongest point. The actors were presenting things in such a calming way, and you were very excited to build your own lightsaber, and you were presented with your pieces from your collection of your choice. And then you had to start building, and it was literally like a beehive went off because the assistants are directing you on what pieces to grab next or to select from and how to assemble and put everything together. And it was a little overwhelming, but in my little corner behind Terry, I was safe. So he got to pick out his Kyber crystal first, which he went with green. During this experience, you can only pick from green, blue, red, and purple, but they do have yellow and white and a elusive black one that you can buy separately. But you do pick out which lightsaber kit you're going to use before you go in, so that when it's building, everything is just go, 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 and then the reveal.
Yes, place your hand on your hilts and activate. Good, now go ahead, builders, and raise your lightsabers. Builders, you have all built lightsabers, just like the Jedi and Sith who came before you. And like them, you too can change the galaxy.
Speaking of galaxies, we went to infinity and beyond and made our way through Toy Story Land, which really is like going back to your childhood. At this point, it was about midday, so half of our group went back to the resort to drop off their merch, their lightsabers and whatnot, while my brothers and I went and watched the Beauty and the Beast live show, and it was fantastic. I could just sit and watch shows all day and be happy. We may have had some feelings during the show, and that's fine because we really, really liked it, and they did very well. I really was in a show mood from that point, so after lunch we went and watched the Indiana Jones Stunt-tacular, which blew my mind because you see this big, where the rock rolls down scene, and then they just pull the scene apart. And then there's another scene. And then they moved that scenery, and there's another scene. So there was 3 layers of action scenes going on throughout this whole experience. So yes, please, give me more. Then we went to dinner at Docking Bay 7, and I was not terribly impressed with what I got. It didn't taste bad. It just didn't also really taste like much of anything. So give me a burger any day. From there, it was back to going around Galaxy's Edge, and we went onto the Smuggler's Run. We found some troopers be walking about, and I stalked them. Then I found their headquarters, and Kylo Ren appeared. He was doing his thing, calling people out in the crowd, and these two guys go and make eye contact. Do they say anything funny? No, they biff it. It's okay, I would have done the same thing. Back to Toy Story Land because I wanted to get on Toy Story Mania. Now, the queue for this ride is everything. It is everything. There's so much to look at that even if you're waiting for the ride, it's worth it. Which this ride is worth it because it's a sort of competitive shoot 'em game when you're in an arcade car. I did not win this time, unfortunately, but I still treated myself to a gigantic blue donut. After enjoying said donut and learning that the funnel cake stand was closing and giving out free funnel cake, which the brothers indulged in, we got on the Mickey and Minnie Runaway Rail Ride, which is one of their better free track simulation mixed rides. Highly recommend it, and I thought when we got out we would have missed the show, but our timing couldn't have been better. My brother and I were able to watch the entire show, which is projected across the entire face of the Chinese theater from like end to end. So this clip really does not do it justice, but if you can find it, definitely watch it. The music chosen, the array of characters, and then the themes that they did throughout the entire show really got to me, like the feels, I'm telling you. I would definitely say the part of our group that went on Rise of Resistance at last minute definitely missed out because of all of the shows I've seen, this is my favorite. We did get to catch the fireworks a little bit when we were riding back on the Skyliner, but it was another late day, so we were wiped out. I think all of us fell asleep right away, and we're back at it super early the next morning because I said, hey, let's get on the absolute first bus to Animal Kingdom so we can get there a half hour before it opens because we are staying at the resort so you can get in earlier, and then we can get to the safari and get that done first. My plan totally failed because you couldn't get in until at least 7:30, which was 30 minutes before. But then you couldn't get on the safari till 8 anyway because that area was sectioned off. And then, because it was chilly, like, there were animals out, but, like, not a lot. They weren't very active, so my bad. If it's cold, don't worry about going first thing in the morning to the safari. We did head towards Flight of Passage in the Avatar area after that, which it's the best ride in Animal Kingdom, in my opinion, but I also just really love simulator rides. And after that, for the first time, we went out to the world, or Rafiki's world, to see their like little petting zoo area, but also there was an animation class that I walked in on, and granted it was just drawing a character, and it was Flit, who, I wish I could have drawn Simba, but it was so much fun. My brother and I did it together. I wish we could have done more, but they were all like 15 or so minutes apart, and we just didn't have all that time. We did manage to go through all of Dino Land, which I know they are getting rid of in the near future. So even though there's really not a lot going on, we had to check it out. We got on the dinosaur ride, and then we went to Everest. Like most of the roller coasters at Disney, I enjoyed it. It's not like super high or super scary. So if you maybe kind of sort of like roller coasters, you might like Everest, and you might go backwards. But then you can go to Yak and Yeti restaurant and stuff your face. Everything was so good, I may have polished off everybody else's plates. But we did head back to the resort pretty early that day. Like, it was maybe about 3 or 4 o'clock because everybody was tired. I wanted to go to Disney Springs because I had never been before, and it is just a big outdoor mall. Where did I go? I ended up going to all of the Disney stores there. I did see a Uniqlo, didn't go in it, but I went to like 4 different Disney stores. I did find a baby Pegasus, so win-win on that. But really, it was just an outdoor mall. There was a lineup for the Lego store, otherwise we would have checked that out. But it was kind of nice to walk around and not have to do anything, maybe spend a little money. My one mission was to check out this donut place because I guess they also like made donut sandwiches, but we went with the tried and true, just like decked out cookies and cream, Fruity Pebble, peanut butter cup donuts. And then we headed back to the resort. I showered, I kind of rested, but it was about 10 o'clock and I was like, I have not yet really walked around the resort because we've been gone every day. So I just went out, took a little walk. Well, actually, Terry was with me, but we walked around the entire resort, so we got to see the cars area as well, which is on completely the opposite side. It was just super quiet and nice to like decompress. But we headed into the loudest place we could have, which was the arcade, because there was massage chairs. But that is how we ended our night. It's also sort of how we began our last day, because my brothers and I went and played a few games in the arcade while the others were at breakfast. And then we got on the Skyliner and headed towards Epcot because we were going to play some mini golf. Apparently, if you stay, it's either 3 or 4 nights at a resort, you get free tickets to their mini golf courses. And so we took advantage of that. It was just a short walk away from Epcot through the like Disney boardwalk area they have there. But it's really easy to get to. You could probably have taken a bus to the Dolphin Resort and gone from there. Either way, it was definitely worth checking out. We were the first ones to get there, but we were not the fastest. So the 5 of us were all sharing one hole at a time, and not all of us, hit holes in ones. It was very rare, actually. So we tried the easier of the 2 courses, which was more Fantasia themed, and it was a struggle, but maybe we were just trying too hard. However, it was a lot of fun to compete with each other and kind of be around this Disney themed mini golf course. This hole in particular, the hole is just on the other side of the gator. So everybody ended up like going around it and getting a hole in 2. I did manage to get it through the gator myself, and I ended up with par 4 because it kept bouncing out of the cup. Lucky me. We were probably on this 18-hole course for close to 2 hours. So when we got to this hole and it's like a motion sensor for the buckets to squirt out water, we weren't even trying anymore. We were just trying to get it done, but it was a lot of fun. And we were able to hop on a bus right near the mini golf course to go towards Magic Kingdom, but it was like a weird private section of the buses, which made us get on the monorail and then take the monorail from that random station through the Contemporary Resort and then go to Magic Kingdom. Like, it was weird. It wasn't what I recall on taking buses to Magic Kingdom, but we did get there eventually, and it was about 2 in the afternoon. With this being our last day there, I was all for taking it slow. So we split up and half of our group went to ride the coaster rides, and then my brother and I went the lazy river route, which meant that we pretty much did anything we came across without really worrying too much about planning. So we did Fill Our Magic, we did It's a Small World, Probably Never Again. Then we went around Frontierland and Adventureland, so we got to see the construction going up for Tiana's Bayou. And then we went on Pirates, we went on the Jungle Cruise, and I may have had the best meal there ever. These chicken and waffles were fantastic. We didn't meet back up with the others until we hit about the Fantasyland area again, where we did have the gray stuff, and it was delicious. We also tried using our magic bands with the golden statues, and I would not say we had a very great success rate. I don't know what it is with us and not activating sensors well. We lazed around there, and then we went back in the early evening to have dinner at the resort, and it was our last night, and I thought I would be tired by the end of it, but I didn't want to go. Especially when we had to get on the bus to get to the airport like super early again. But I can't complain when that means I'm going home to my boy Atreyu. He did so good while we were away. He stayed with a friend and he had a lot of playtime, some daycare time, and I know he missed us. We definitely missed him, but it was nice to know that he enjoyed his time while we were gone. I'm definitely looking forward to going again, but it's probably not gonna be for a while, especially now that we have a new puppy. But more on that later. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.